going on, everybody, and welcome back. So in this video we're gonna try to get the boost controller to work again. I got it hooked up a totally different way. I've never had it like this before, but I found some new diagrams, and we'll see if we can get it to work. So it's getting dark over here, but I figured I had time for a quick ride and just to see if it works, just because it's really killing me. I haven't really been able to do a full pull in the car in a while, just because I hit boost cut every time. So I'm always like pedaling it a little bit, which I just want to be able to rip it. So let's see if we hit boost cut here. And we still hit boost cut there. So I don't have it hooked up right as far as I can tell, because we still hit boost cut. Alright guys, so I made an adjustment under the hood. I swapped it to the only other combination that there is, and I hope that this is it, because I do have it is selected as a normally open setup, and I didn't actually have it set up correctly, because I had the line to the part that was normally closed. So I think what I actually need is to have it to the other side, but I'll explain all of this stuff if it actually works once I get back to my house. But so far we're just gonna go ahead and go for another little cruise and see if we are in fact on Wastegate right now. Hopefully we are. I don't know if we will be at 1% duty cycle. Maybe I'll bring it to 15 just to check. Let's see what she makes, boys. Tried to make all of it again. Didn't seem to help. Did not seem to change a thing. That is so unfortunate. Sometimes these things just beat me, guys. They just get the better of me, you know? I don't know how to overcome it, but this is all part of it. It's part of the struggle. I'm trying to figure out what I should do now. Should I just run this thing on Wastegate and see if that even works? Or should I keep messing with it? You know, I don't know what it is that I should do. But I'm just gonna keep plugging along and hopefully I get it figured out, because it's kind of bumming me out, guys. I'm gonna pull over here and see if I can make another attempt. What I got here is a vacuum pump, and I have it hooked up to the top port on the gate. So theoretically, if I pull on the top port of the gate, it should be a sealed system, and I should be able to pull the diaphragm in the upward position, and we shouldn't have any issues there. But if I actuate this guy right here, and I had the other guy plugged, so if I have this guy plugged like this, and actuate this, you can hear the pressure is actually escaping from what seems like exhaust valves in the engine, because if I pull on this and it's able to pull air from this system, it means, in my theory, that the diaphragm is ripped and it's pulling through the diaphragm and into the valve section of this unit, and is actually pulling out of the exhaust valves or something of that nature, because I hear it out of this. So it seems odd to me that it would do that. So I'm not sure if that's what the problem is or if there's something else that's wrong, but I do want to take this apart and verify the problem, or at least verify that it's not ripped or torn. I haven't checked on it, and I guess this could be a update video. Is the wastegate still working? And I'll probably link the old video, and in that video I'll link this one. So I'm about to pull this wastegate apart and we will see what it looks like inside. I'm thinking the diaphragm may be ripped, and maybe that's why we have such a tough time trying to control our boost. Alright everybody, so it's the following night. I'm back out here in the garage and I'm taking a look at everything here on the wastegate, and actually last night I found that we do have an issue. Looks like this whole setup is actually sealing pretty well. I'll probably put it back on with this gasket here. It's got this little fire ring here, and then that sits on the gasket, but it was doing a pretty good job sealing there. But I do think that I found my problem, and you guys may or may not understand, but basically right here, this set screw goes through here and holds down the valve that is the wastegate valve, which is in here. And this guy gets actuated by the diaphragm. So essentially what we have here is a 2-port wastegate where we have a lower section, and the lower section inflates this diaphragm here, pulls the diaphragm up, and when the diaphragm gets pulled up, it pulls up that valve down there, which opens on the wastegate. So when you have boost pressure coming into the bottom section here, it inflates this diaphragm, whatever your spring is that sits on top of here, and it pushes up on that spring, and whatever it takes to overcome that spring, in this case this is a 7 psi spring, it will overcome that, and it will open the valve here and allow it to vent the excess pressure so it doesn't spool up the turbo so much so that you overboost. So that is how this thing works. So when I got it, I have a video that I'll probably link, and these guys were loose. So I tightened them, and one of them was entirely stripped like this. And this guy is even loose. Even the strip one is loose. So I'm surprised this thing didn't drop the valve, or just not even pick up the valve. I'm surprised the valve even moves with it, to be honest. But anyway, the real problem was that when you blow in this bottom port, there is air escaping out of this. And I could tell because when I blow in here, I can see that air that was coming out. I can hear it coming out of there, not see it. But essentially, this thing is broken. We have exhaust gas that's most likely pushing in here, going and traveling up the valve seat, and actually entering here because there's soot in here, as well as any boost pressure is going to leak out of here and basically trick the wastegate and equalize the pressure on the top and bottom and push down on the top and totally just wreck everything that I'm trying to do here. And that's why we're having boost control issues, I believe. So I went ahead and ordered another one just to have the parts, but the diaphragm on this one does look good, so I think I'm going to put some Loctite on here and ram these screws home, put it all back together, and then give it another test and see if I can in fact run on wastegate and see if my boost controller is now hooked up correctly. And if it does work, good. If it doesn't work, I think I'm just going to go for a beefier spring in there and just run more boost via the spring, and hopefully that'll just be the end of this whole boost issue, because I'm sick of not being able to control my boost. I've always had issues with boost fluctuations with my other boost controller as well as this setup too. So if I can really straighten this out, good. If not, maybe I need a better wastegate, but we're going to figure this out eventually, guys. I don't plan to give up anytime soon. But anyway, I want to just be able to do some rips in the car, and I just want this thing to like go A to B, first gear through third or fourth, and just rip. But I can't right now. I can't even mat it because I hit boost cut. So really itching to rip this thing. So I'm going to try to get this thing back together, and we'll see if we can take it for a rip tomorrow. And maybe I'll get some footage of that, and hopefully you guys get to see me ripping the car again. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to get to work here. I'm going to go ahead and Loctite, put it back together, slap it back on, so it's all ready. So remember I was saying that you could just blow into this bottom port here and actuate the diaphragm. Well, with no spring on it, there's not really any pressure. So you can see that diaphragm actuates very well, and it works like a champ. It really holds air nicely, and it wasn't doing that before. Before, it was leaking out of that hole, and so sealing that hole and cranking down all these screws here with Loctite, I think is really going to be the ticket. So we're going to go ahead and put this thing back together, and I think that was definitely our problem all along, and that's why we could not control our boost, and that makes perfect sense. So I'm going to go ahead and put this thing back together, and we're going to proceed from there. So it's all back together for now. I got both ports on this side, which I guess is kind of silly. I wish I could put it over here, but my wiring is too short. Someday I'll redo it all. I'm not really a big fan of how all this looks, but you know, at the end of the day, if it works, it works. We'll make it look pretty later. So I got this thing set up. This is how I think it should be wired. This port that's teed to the bottom of the wastegate goes to the normally closed port, and then the one from the top of the wastegate goes to this one, which is normally open. And this guy is our vent, so that should be what we want. And yeah, I guess that's all there is to say. I hope that this works. I've looked at some other diagrams of this particular sensor, and that seems to be the way that you should wire it. So I hope that this works and the plumbing is correct, as well as the wiring. And I guess we're just going to have to see how it goes. But yeah, I'll let you guys know if this thing works tomorrow, and I'll take you guys for a test route. Alright guys, so I don't know how the lighting's going to be. I know it's dark out, but I'm going to go take you guys for a ride in the car. I did get it figured out. That wastegate issue was the real problem. So that did fix it, and I was running on wastegate after that. It was like 6 or 7 pounds. Perfect. I don't think it's ever run that good on wastegate, so I'm pretty stoked. And then just turning it up a little bit, I think about 40% duty cycle is like 10 pounds. And then 50% duty cycle seemed like it was like 10 pounds in third. I think it might be different because of the load. I'm going to have to just feel it out, drive it around, and see what all the different duty cycles give me for boost, and then set those per gear. So I think first and second gear are probably going to be somewhere around 40%. And then beyond that, I'm going to have to just figure that out. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked, guys. Things seem like they're really looking up. Everything seems like it's really working, and the car is looking good. So I'm pretty stoked. I'm gonna go take it for a rip tonight, and let you guys get a little bit of pull action, and maybe a couple, and then that's it. I'll post this video. But yeah, I'm gonna fire it up. All right, guys. So pretty happy with the way the car is running. Just got to get to a decent location, and we'll be able to do a couple test rips once we get out to Mexico, if you know what I mean. It's a bit of a ride all the way from the Northeast, but we'll get there. That was 40% duty cycle, and yeah, it seemed like we did pretty good. That was a full second gear pull, and then just getting into third just a little bit. So I think that I need a little bit more data with everything. I think I really need to figure out exactly what duty cycle hits each boost, and they kind of have a little table there, and they want you to set it up basically by boost request. Like, what do I want for boost? And that's what I set up in the table per gear. But that requires me populating the table with values that are legitimate, so I have to figure out how to populate that table first. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I kind of just need to drive the car on different fixed duty cycles and see what it does in each gear specifically, because it seems as though it's making different amounts, and in third gear up in the top end it does start to creep, so I have to keep that in mind too, that the boost is now creeping on me. So that's kind of another factor as well. So a lot of factors, a lot of tuning to go on, but I'll see if I can do a little pull for you guys right here. We rip through a little first gear. I did hit boost cut. So fixed duty cycle is not enough. It's been a while since I ripped like that. That was pretty fun. Alright, we're gonna pull over, make an adjustment here. Cut a little bit of grass with the front lip. Okay, so we know that duty cycle is too much for third gear. We're tapping our boost cut. So it looks like we're gonna have to run a little bit less than that, which is fine. So we're gonna look at Pwm Setup here, and our duty cycle is 50%. We'll go down to 45%, and we're gonna try that because it's pretty sensitive. I think hopefully we should be able to rev third gear out this time. We're gonna see. So 45% there, and we'll see where that puts us. That's good. That means we got room to grow for sure. So we'll do a little 2 to 3 right here. We got some room. Woo! It's really getting going, guys. Seems like it doesn't really creep when we have it at like 45% duty cycle there. I was able to get to top of third pretty much without any problems. So I think that might be good for us. I think we might have to, yeah, so 45. It seemed like it was hanging around 10. It's interesting that that much of a difference can that small of an amount can make such a big difference, whereas we weren't hitting boost cut in third gear or fourth gear with 45, but with 50 we are. So that's very interesting to me. So it looks like we can maybe bump it up a little bit more and see where we're at. So let's try like 40, 47. I think maybe we'll be closer to where we want to be. Well, I think that's enough ripping it for tonight, guys. I'm gonna give the car a break. Starting to get a little bit low on gas, and I don't want to, you know, blow it up just yet. So we'll give it a little bit of a break, and we're gonna head back to the house. But I'd say overall pretty successful. Demonstrated that I can definitely vary the boost. I may have a little bit of a creeping issue up top. I guess maybe just because the wastegate doesn't flow enough for this engine setup, or whatever the case is, or maybe it doesn't really have wastegate priority with the manifold design. But it doesn't really matter to me. This car is ripping, and maybe it's not the best that this car could actually be, but maybe someday I'll do a nice top mount and make it better. But for right now, it certainly gets the job done, and it's definitely fast. This thing scares me like on a daily basis. I wasn't gonna rip it, and here I am. It's just too much fun, and this car just takes a thrashing, guys, so you know, it loves it. Anyway, I'm gonna end it off here. If you guys enjoyed these pulls, consider subscribing, and you guys should definitely stay tuned, because now that the car is done, I'm gonna be much more inclined to take pictures and videos and do all kinds of stuff, because I'm really content with the way that the car looks. And I'm really having a good time, honestly. So you guys will see more and more content as time goes on. So stick around and share this with your friends and other Honda people. And hopefully we'll have some other projects coming up soon on this car and on other stuff too. So thank you guys, I appreciate it. We just hit over 2,500 subscribers, so I am so stoked. I'm beyond pumped that the channel's growing, and I just want to keep it moving. And let me know what you guys would like to see. Let me know what you guys want. If you made it all the way to the end, definitely let me know what you're looking for in the channel, and maybe if you guys think that I should do some merch, maybe stickers. I'm definitely thinking merch and stickers are in order. But yeah, you guys let me know what you want to see, and I'll try to make it happen. Anyway, peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.